Hi, good afternoon. My name's Don. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for being here. Just so you know, I speeded up the video a little bit. I've gone 1.25 rather than normal speed just for a little bit of brevity. Today we're going to be going from uh, Baker Park to Bowness Park to Kensington. We're leaving Baker Park. Baker Park has two disc golf courses. One's being repaired right now, but that's okay. On our left is the Bow River, and across the river is Bowness River. Ahead of us is the Stony Plain Bridge. We're heading west right at the moment. Um, the path here is very nice, but it is shared, so be careful if you're biking. Watch out for pedestrians and other bikers. Time of day that I did this was about noon, so it was fairly warm and not really hot, but it could be this section at least because there's very little shade. So you can see the bridge ahead of us. They're just twinning that. They're just finishing that up. So that's a good thing for the vehicles, at least. On the left is a raft rental place, and on the right is some porta potties. Traffic can get pretty busy down here, so be careful. Like I said, the path is very nice. It's in good shape, at least in this section. But watch out for cross traffic both ways here. Okay, so we have a couple hard turns. We have a hard left, and then we'll be coming up to a hard right. Remember, we are sharing this path, and the video is speeded up. There is some other paths that, if you went straight ahead, you'd go up to the right to Tuscany. That's closed off right now because of due to construction. But I'm looking forward to testing that one out once they get that finished. And you make a hard left, and you take the pathway under the bridge. This under the bridge is fairly narrow, so you have to be careful and watch out for other people. Be courteous, go slow. And crossing the Bow River. And you can see we're under the old bridge, and you can see the new bridge to the right. The river is patrolled by the police and fire department. They're looking for, well, they're looking to take care of anybody, but they're looking for violations such as not wearing your safety vest. I believe it is law. And right straight ahead, you can see a path that's going up, and it goes to the right, and I think it goes up to Shaganappi area, that kind of thing. It's not complete right now, so it's pretty tough if you're walking or riding for that matter. And this part of the path is gravel. It's in fairly good shape, but it is narrow, and there's lots of walkers. So just you go slow, be careful. You don't need to ruin your day or somebody else's by running into them, that's for sure. And there's spots to sit all the way through here. And we're going to make a right, and we're going to come up to the paved section right smartly here. So a nice little pathway here. You can see some people sunbathing there. This path will go to the main entrance. We typically don't take it because it is gravel, and it's quite crowded. So we kind of cut into the bushes here and get onto the main path. So we're heading east now towards the other entrance of Bowness Park. Bowness Park is a very nice park. It's well treed. There's grassed areas everywhere, lots of picnic areas, and you can reserve these picnic areas through the city of Calgary. Some of these areas can hold a lot of people, like the one on the right here. I think it holds up to 300 people, probably more if they're not all sitting down or using their own chairs. Some people just don't get the idea of walking on the right and biking on the right, but Like I said, you got to be careful and you got to watch for them because sometimes they'll just zip across right in front of you without watching. I usually go quite slow through here, especially when it's crowded. There can be kids, excited kids not paying attention, not watching what they're doing. Another picnic area reserved, and you can see there's a few people on there right now. On the left is the Bow River. There's some tables and benches right by the water. They do have it kind of made out into little cross eddies so that there is a swimming area that you're not right in the current of the river. So we just kind of made a little bypass. I cut out some of the film here. This is on the top side of the park. To the right is the lagoon where you can rent canoes and boats and stuff like that. And there is a snack bar and a restaurant over that side as well. The snack bar is quite, you can get a latte, that kind of stuff. And the restaurant is quite expensive, but apparently the food is excellent. So, and another picnic area to the left here. And the pathway is fairly wide and well maintained. And off to the right, just you can see that there's the wading pool. I only think it's open on weekends right now, but I've seen it before and it's pretty busy. There's a lot of kids in there and stuff, so they really enjoy it. And you can see the little railroad tracks. They got a mini railroad here. Not running today, but probably on the weekends. So we're going under the bridge, and then we're going to go through the forest. Hit the like and the subscribe and the notifications if you want to see more of these things. We really appreciate it. Thank you. So when I'm coming up this hill, I typically gear down pretty good because there's people stalled. I've run into people stalled here and stuff like that, and you just lose your momentum. It makes it a little harder. So we're up the hill. So we're out of Bowness Park now, and we're heading into Bowness, the town itself. Angel's Restaurant off to the right there. Ate there a few times. It's kind of old style food, and the food is lots of it and fairly decent price. Good food. So I do believe this roadway is part of the Bow Valley or Bow River Pathway. Not a whole bunch of traffic, so it's fairly safe. But do watch out; it is shared by walkers and pedestrians and vehicles. And some of the vehicles have a tendency to push those stop signs. So keep your eyes out. Some really nice houses in here, and some older houses, but there's some really nice houses through here. I didn't blow the stop sign. I slowed right down, looked both ways. Yeah, I know you're supposed to stop. There's a pathway to the left. I do believe that heads down to the river and cuts out and ends up at about the same place we're going to end up on. There's a few nasty spots for bikers through there, so I don't go that way. If you go to the right, you're going to end up at the main road through Bowness Road. So this white house is a marker for you, and then the house on the left, the gray house, that indicates where you go. Um, I think you can get where you want to go if you go right, but we found that it gets a little confusing. So this is the best way to go: is head out under here. Your railroad tracks are right here. We're going to go under, or I think we go under the railroad tracks. There's a nasty attached pylon hole there, so don't run that over. You might flatten your tire. If you go to the left, you end up back on the same road we're on, but we go to the right and under the railroad bridge. And those ladies are having fun, but they're not wearing safety vests, and they could get a nasty little fine if the police come along and tag them. So, like I said, it's mandatory that when you're on the river in a raft, you're supposed to be wearing a life raft. Um, and it is well patrolled, especially on weekends. They've got two boats going on the weekends, one going one way, one going the other. So, don't think you'll be able to get away with it. Somehow, my wife got ahead of me on that one. So if you go straight ahead, that's the normal route, but this time we just decided to split just to see what happens if you went through this road. And as it turns out, it just kind of curves around and loops back to the main road anyhow. So it was kind of a bit of a not profitable detour. Some very nice houses through here. So we're curving back around. And we'll be turning left. And then this would be just a continuation of the road that when we cut off. Never had any trouble on this section of road. It's always been, you know, uh, very little traffic, that kind of thing, and the road is smooth. But you are sharing it with vehicles, so be careful. And if it appears that I'm zooming along, I'm not. I've sped up the film um, just for brevity. Uh, it cuts it down from 30 minutes down to about 23 minutes. So smooth and wide. Watch out for people getting out of their cars. You don't want to get doored. Quite a bit of construction along here, putting in new houses, infills. If you go to the right, you'll end up on Bowness Road, um, and there is a pathway along there. But I try to stay on roads less traveled, just for my own safety and peace of mind. I don't know about the rest of you, but when I'm biking, I try to keep 2 to 3 feet out from the doors in case somebody's not paying attention. They open the door on you. That would be it would be painful, that's for sure. like I said, you can take your time along here and take a look at the houses. And there's some beautiful old ones and beautiful new ones. Fair bit of construction, like I said. Off to the right, if you need a coffee or something like that, there's Timmy's right there. It's not a drive-through or anything, but it is a Timmy's if you want to stop for a coffee. The Timmy's is fairly new. It's actually quite a nice little Timmy's. Just in case you don't know it, I'm using an Akaso Brave 7 action cam. It's quite a bit cheaper than the GoPros, and I haven't seen anything that it can't do right now. It's a nice little camera. Um, I use it all the time, and I normally film in 4K, 30 frames per second, and then knock it down to full HD when I edit. You see the pathway sign, the biking pathway sign. And we're coming up to a little park. We'll be making a hard left into the park. There's the entrance to the park. A little farther down the road, I start gearing down because there's an uphill and then onto the bridge, and so oftentimes there's traffic there, so you lose your momentum. Makes it a little tougher. This is a nice little park. There's some picnic tables if you want to park there, and nice shade. So we're making a hard left onto the old railroad bridge, which is now pedestrian and biking only. It's kind of neat. They had it shut down for about probably 6 months last year, and it was a little bit more painful than when you had to cross the bridge with the vehicles. So I'm going to make a hard left and go under the bridge and go right into Shouldes. I ding my bell just in case because people go through here pretty quick, and you just don't want to make sure you don't have a collision. So Shouldes Park, straight ahead of us is a play area for the kids. It's one of the biggest, most unique ones I've seen. There's lots of activities for the kids. You can reserve some of these picnic areas here for if you have a party coming. You can reserve it through the city of Calgary. It's nicely shaded. Nice little area. There is access to the river. There's tennis courts and basketball court here. They've got washrooms, some porta potties, and then they've got some stationary ones as well. River access to the right. We go under the bridge. Nice shady area there if you ever need it on a hot day. And hit the like and subscribe and notifications, please. Okay, so we're back on the path, and we're out of Shouldes Park. In this stretch of road you're sharing, so be careful. The Pathway is in pretty good shape. There's a few frost heaves and stuff like that along here. You can turn hard left and go up the road if you want, but it's pretty rough. It's full of a lot of potholes. I prefer the little off trail that's across the road here. Lots of dog walkers through here, and I've been cut off by them, crossing the path. So you necessarily don't have a great field of view or be able to see very far ahead. So, and it does say 20 Ks is maximum through here. And it looks like I'm racing, but I'm not. I'm doing 20 and having the video sped up a tad. I like this little path. You're coming onto a road, so stop and look right and left before you proceed. Some real nice old houses through here. They've got some beautiful gardens. Okay, we're turning right. And this is curvy. And so you don't have real good vision all the time. So, proceed with caution. Under the bridge, there's another rental place for rafts, if you wish. And right straight ahead of us is the Bow, and we're heading east now. This is the Bow River pathway part of it. Well maintained through here. In areas you can get right down to the river if you want to. Specifically in the tree patch coming up. There's some nice areas that you can get down to some shallow water if you wish. I always ding the pedestrians way back just so that they know I'm coming, just so they don't make a inadvertent step into the left lane and I run them over. I wouldn't like that. Probably hurt me and them for sure. Yeah, right down here on the right, there's areas where you can go down and get to the river, shallow areas if you want to throw some rocks or just sit by the running water. To the left is a bunch of practice fields and play fields. Another boat or raft rental place right there. So in total, we've passed three of those. I don't know the cost on that. I should check that out. But do remember that when you're um, going on those rafts, that they will be. It's mandatory that they rent you